Hello and welcome to my playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3, Their Finest Hour, with BlackICE installed along with Third Reich Events, German Graphical Augmentation, and the D-Worms event mods. In this segment we are just going through the setting up and starting of the game, not playing too far into it. BlackICE is often daunting for players, especially new ones, in this start, as there is many decisions and events taking place right at the very beginning. These are found in the decisions diplomatic page. Some just happen, others need to make a decision. Follow the different possible effects to get started, and there's a lot of good ones for spying and espionage. I like economic spying because it helps out the industry at start. And the national focus. Also many good ones, but again, for the start we want to build our industry and economic base much stronger. Economic boost. There are two types: short-term investment and long-term investment. Long-term investment needs to be active once you've researched several improvements for megastructures. Since we have not researched anything yet in the game, and it will be, if at all, this year or most likely into the next year, we're going to start out with the short-term investment. More ICs. Activating the D-Worms event mods. Germany does not care what happens in Abyssinia. BlackICE's web page. BlackICE has different settings for difficulty. Since this is a playthrough mainly dealing with how to play and not dealing with great challenges, we're going to go on normal. A little boost to our economy here. Yes, we want the Kriegsmarine command structure. We want the Luftwaffe's command structure. Both are very good for managing your Navy and Armed and Air Force. National recruiting policy. Germany will eventually have large fronts and many areas to occupy, so it needs a lot of troops, but it will never be the biggest in troop numbers, so quality over quantity. But with these two competing areas, we need to work a balanced approach. Clear out the notifications. More have arisen. Again, we're going with normal difficulty settings for everything on this playthrough. Intelligence. We will be building up more spies. We want to fully support our internal security, counter-espionage, as well as supporting the ruling party and raise national unity. For the political setup, we want to move away from the consumer-oriented production to mixed industry. Constantine's a good foreign minister. Von Blumberg is not a good armaments minister. Schneck was probably, of the Nazi hierarchy, the best one who understood economics. Ministry of Security. That's an important place. But right now, we're not at war. We don't have a large threat to internal security, but we could really use popular support for the government, so we're going to put Joseph Goebbels in charge of gaining support. Canaris was a very good wartime intel head for Germany. Again, we're not yet at war, so we don't need him in charge of the internal or intelligence headquarters. Wilhelm Frick, Reich Minister of the Interior, will do just fine in keeping things organized well. And we will have Fritz here since he has construction practical decay -5, which helps us out in maintaining our buildings. Adjust the sliders. We will be doing this more than we like, but it is necessary. Technology. We need to develop our nation as a high priority early in the game. We'll have great impact later on. Also need to adjust the levels here. We don't need a lot of officers at start, though we do need to continue to build to a greater level of them as time goes on. So we want some level of officers. Right click on it will lock it in place again. Right clicking will unlock it. Diplomacy. I don't use much diplomacy in the game overall, or even at the start, so we'll reduce that down just enough to keep diplomats going so we can make trades. Spies. We need spies, both maintain our own security from having intel stolen, as well as stealing intel from others, so we will have some level of spies here, but again, not a lot. We will be needing adjusting these shortly, but this will get us started. These are very important. They will give us specialty headquarters to help better organize our Navy and Air Forces, and bonuses to those forces. Anything that reduces the delay between attacks helps us immensely, so we want to do this research now as well. We want to improve our submarines. We want to improve our destroyers. We also need to improve aircraft research as well. We want to be able to, since we are the player, deploy garrisons where we feel fit, not limit them as this has been done for the AI. We want to run the clock just a little bit on the, before we start doing too much. Various nations will get settled out just a bit here, so we will run the clock shortly here. About a day or so. A lot of effects will pop up after the first. Yes, we want the Wehrmacht upgrade events. These will add to immersion and give us a much better game. The Schutzstaffel. Give us historically interesting units and help improve our occupation foreign territories. We'll get the inspectorate. It pops up as well. But it does cost us officers, which will affect us later on. Activate militia brigades. Battle commanders are good. We want the ships sooner rather than later. We want to allow these events. We are now a regional land power. Our road network effect is in place, rails, airports, and we've lost the Great Depression effect. That is important. Ships will take a long time to build, and we're just going to let them build, wait for a while and get some of the air, which will show up sooner, to the top. Again, keep adjusting things here. Back to technology, need to add some more text. We will slowly work to improve capabilities with aircraft carriers. We will want to build them late in the game if we are successful. Improve the artillery, and we want to work towards very early on with assault concentration, because once we get assault concentration to level 3, we can start doing superior firepower, which will add one more brigade to our divisions and make them much better. So we want to start on that early. Tech rushing should be avoided at this stage because it just eats things away. And there's so much to study that will help us that we don't want to waste our time on at the moment. Too many. We'll leave it at that for now. We'll let the clock go for a few more days. Yes, revolts. These old battleships are good for controlling the Baltic, so we will take them instead of scrapping them. No, I don't like these events. Hitler needs his house. Now people are starting to want to trade. Yes. Let's look around the world and see what we can trade here. like I said, we will keep coming back and dealing with these sliders way more than we like. We don't need this many supplies being produced, but we need to produce supplies badly. And in fairly large numbers, because TRE uses supplies as a cost for things often, as well as BlackICE. Now that we have a large income coming in, we can afford some rare materials. This event that I've just added to the game, so not complete with no event image yet, adds the SA starting order of battle for 1936. This will help with internal security, as you see, is yet to take effect, so we have areas with BlackICE that are not particularly happy at the moment. The SA will help with that a lot. Now this is one thing I want to show you. A lot of people complain about having to click through large stacks. So things like this to find out what's in them or to find the file they want to select. That can be a very big pain. What I've learned is you can draw a line across the stack. On the sidebar will appear the units, and you can select the unit you wish. Now we just got a lot of SA units here. They will cost us a fair amount, but what they definitely would cost would be upgrades. But the SA isn't really worth the upgrade, so we're going to stop all these units from upgrading. So it'll be much cheaper, because they're just going to be part-time soldiers. And again, we have to adjust consumer goods to handle the increased size of the army. That. Okay. The line. Rhineland. No longer blocked. Move in and occupy. This event here starts off Third Reich Events and sets up a lot of infrastructure corrections based on research that I've done, removes the west wall that the game erroneously starts with, as it currently was unoccupied or occupied by the French, and it makes improvements, not always improvements for your country, but just historically based improvements. See what trading we can do. Italy needs coal. So let's offer them. This will help improve our relationship with them a bit as well. Romania is producing a lot of oil, but does also need a little bit more coal. Now that we've got all the effects into place, we also need to very much improve our industrial base to fight the long war that is to come. It is best to start putting your industry into provinces that have heavy industry. Heavy industry is just a modifier to industry, not an industry of itself. And so if you can have your industry increased in strength, each IC is a higher percentage effectiveness. That is the best place to start. It is also good to spread out your industry so that if one province is bombed, it will only affect the industry in that province and not nearby. I generally build more dispersal factories in the east to keep them from Western bombers. And we also want the factories to immediately start in production, so we will move all of these other things that are partially built to the bottom of our production queue. That way we will concentrate on factories for now. Now we've occupied the Rhineland. Nice little explanation here of the occupation and its effects. Gotten high popularity, which will help us considerably. Sweden will sell us some metal. We want to improve our relations with them. That is part of the trick, is who to trade with and who not to. Some people you want to improve your relations with, others you don't care about, some you just don't want to improve. Now here we can give them money for metal. That's Luxembourg. Luxembourg can only trade with European powers because it's landlocked. If we don't trade with them, we'll just leave them be. Later we'll invade them and take their metal. Any reserves that they have stockpiled. Well, this concludes our setting up of Hearts of Iron 3 with BlackICE and Third Reich Events installed. I hope this has been informative. More to come later.